Dear learners, in this lecture, I am going to discuss the pronouns in Urdu-Hindi. So basically, the pronouns means when we are just avoid the repetition of the noun. So the pronoun is the word which used in the place of noun. So it is essentials in every language and it's serving as the substitute for nouns to avoid the repetition. And it actually has the reference or it indicate the reference to pupil, objects or concepts. So they are playing the crucial role in maintaining the cohesion and clarity in communication. So while in any text, in text or discourse or in communication, we are not using the same name or noun or the place again and again. Instead, we are using the pronoun. So the pronoun has the back reference for those pupil objects and concepts in the text or in communication also. So Urdu Hindi pronouns are diverse and classified into several types based on their functions and demonstrative, personal pronouns, reflexive pronoun, interrogative pronoun, indefinite pronoun, relative pronoun, and repeated pronouns. So these all are the division or the classification of pronouns in Urdu Hindi. And one more thing is that the each type has distinct forms and usage rules often influenced by the factors such as number, gender, case. So case means the grammatical case, which is the nominative or directive, and oblique case. And it is also has means it changes according to honorifics and emphasis sometimes. So that we will discuss in the next slides. So these are the basically we can say the agreement or we can say the changes or the inflection in the pronoun in the influence of such factors like number, gender, case, and honorifics and emphasis. So the first one is the demonstrative pronouns. So demonstrative pronouns are the word used to identify, indicate, or point out a specific object or person or ideas, distinguishing them from the other based on distance, number, and gender. So so we can distinguishing all these demonstrative on the basis of distance and number and gender. Basically, they are pointing out some specific person or some object or idea. So in Urdu Hindi, demonstrative pronoun serves the function of drawing listeners or readers' attention to particular noun with spatial, temporal, or discourse context. So sometimes it actually express some time or temporal, sometimes some space means there's some spatial kind of things or because the place kind of thing, and sometimes it actually happens due to the discourse context. So they are not only indicate the proximity. So proximity means whether the referent is near or far from the speaker to or listener, but also agree in gender and number. So basically, the demonstrative pronouns ref, indicate or express the proximity, either the object or the person is near or far. So that's that kind of proximity is there. But it also agree or it also influence or it also change according to the gender and number. To means it the demonstrative occurs sometime with the noun. So to whom it refer or to which noun it refer to, it agree according to the number or gender to that particular noun. So in many cases they function both pronouns. Demonstrative either have the function of pronouns, that means the replacement of noun, and they are also function in terms as a determiners or the adjectives in a language. Determiners or adjective. So adjective means they modify the noun directly. So that is the other function of demonstrative. So first demonstrative pronouns is the proximal demonstrative. So the proximal demonstrative means they actually express the nearby things like ye and ye. So proximal demonstrative are pronouns or determiners used to refer to the person, object or entities that are physically or contextually close to the speaker. So in the same we have in English like this and that. So this for the close things. So like ye for the close thing, and the other use of wo or the that for the thing which is not close. The proximal demonstrative so clearly demonstrate the immediate environment or within the reach or the currently being discussed or perceived as near. So this the near kind of sense comes in the demonstrative pronoun. So in communication, those pronouns help the speaker to or the to anchor reference in space, time, or discourse, and they are also indicating the referent is present, visible, or directly accessible. So that kind of meaning is also visible or also expressed by the demonstrative pronoun, like the present, visible, and directly accessible. So the use of proximal demonstrative thus express the immediacy, familiarity, and emotional closeness. So we have two types of demonstrative. So we have for singular we have ये और plural we have ये लड़का अच्छा खेला and ये लड़के अच्छा खेले. And they are also agree, the demonstrative pronouns agree according to the number, so that the singular or plural, so that we have already discussed, like ये किताब अच्छी है and ये बच्चे खेल रहे हैं. So that is the ये किताब अच्छी है, this is the ये किताब अच्छी है and ये बच्चे खेल रहे हैं. So this kind of sense have ये and for singular and ये for plural. And sometimes they sometimes they are also function as determiners and adjective. So that we have discussed, means sometimes the ye actually happens or means they have the both function, either they are the demonstrative pronoun and either they have the function of determiners and adjective. And the other features of demonstrative pronouns, when the demonstrative pronoun followed by the postposition, like any postposition like ko, ne, se, per, so it takes the oblique form. So that is also the case of in the demonstrative pronoun. So in singular oblique we have like ye ladka, so that is without position. And when we say ये लड़के ये इसको या इस लड़के को, so in this case we are using is, not ये लड़के को, इस लड़के को. And when we have the plural, so like ये लड़के and become the plural like इन लड़कों को या इन लड़कों से. So in this example like मैंने इसको देखा, so that is the इसको is the singular, and when the plural इन लोगों से बात करो, so that is the इन लोगों. So in this इसको is the singular, so in singular we are using is when it is followed by the postposition, so this is the oblique form is, and for plural it is the oblique form in when it is followed by postposition, say इन लोगों से. So the demonstrative is the proximal demonstrative in Urdu-Hindi not only specify the spatial closeness but also often imply the contextual, emotional immediacy. So signaling that the referent is important, relevant, or directly involved in the ongoing discourse. So that is the case. It is not directly referring some things which is very near in terms of closeness, but it also imply or it also express the contextual and emotional immediacy. So here we have example for this demonstrative pronoun. So for singular, in nominative case you use ये, like ये लड़का अच्छा है. For nominative plural you use ये बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं. So now ये is singular and ये is plural. And for oblique form, मैंने इस लड़के को देखा. So it become the is, ये become the is in the oblique form, and ये become the in, मैंने इन बच्चों को देखा. That is the different forms according to the direct case, or we can say nominative case, or in the oblique case. And now the second one is the distal demonstrative. So that actually represent away from the speaker, means anything or the person or the object or entity which is not near the speaker. It is at the distance of the speaker, means far away from the speakers. So it is not physically, spatially or contextually near to the speaker. It is so they are implied when the referent is not immediately present, out of reach, or removed from the speaker's immediate perception. So it is in distal, it is out of reach, the person or object or entities, and removed from the speaker's immediate perception. So these demonstrative establish the dactic contrast also. So dactic contrast with the proximal uh, proximal demonstrative. So like ye and ye. So in proximal we are using ye, like ye, and in distal demonstrative we are using wo. So that is also the contrastive distribution with the other proximal forms. So it highlights the difference belong to different or more remote spheres of reference. So in there the distance is near, in this the distance is far. So that is, so it is also we can have this distinction according to the discourse related. So means the something previously mentioned or conceptually removed from the speaker's focus. Demonstrative pronouns. So here we have the example of the distal demonstrative. So distal demonstrative, for singular we are using wo, and for plural we are using we. So they can have the both function, either they are using as a pronoun, means the replacement of noun, means, or they are also using as determiners, modifying the noun directly. So they have the two types of function. So example like वो आदमी अच्छा है, so वो is the distal demonstrative in singular form. और वे बच्चे स्कूल गए हैं, so वे in the plural form. So that is the difference between the singular and plural, and they have the agreement in gender and number with the person or with the thing it used. And the same thing with the postposition for demonstrative, when it is used, when it is used before the postposition or the postposition used after this distal demonstrative, so it take the oblique form. Like when we have like वो change into us for the oblique form. So there is the oblique form of वो अच्छा है और उसको किताब दे दो. So wo is the singular form of distal demonstrative, and us is the oblique form when we using any postposition after wo, like usko, usne, usse, us par. So we are using us. And in the plural form we are using un. So for singular we are using like un. So this us, which is the oblique form of singular, and this is the un, which is the oblique form of plural. Like उन लोगों से बात करो. When we say वे लोग बात करने आए, so when we are choosing, when we are using the postposition after वो, so it changes into वे, it changes into the उन. उन लोगों से बात करो. उन लोगों ने बात नहीं मानी. उन लोगों पर रहम करो. So this kind of postposition we have with the distal demonstrative, then we can have the un instead of way. That is the oblique form of way. So here we can say that way change into the un for the plural. And this is for singular. So in so that is the here we have some elaboration, like for singular nominative we are using wo, for nominative plural we are using we, for oblique singular wo into change us, for oblique plural we are o into change in un. So that is the un, us. So like वो लड़का अच्छा है, वे बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं. So that is the वो change into the plural into way. And now मैंने उस लड़के को देखा, that is the वो change into the us because of the postposition, so that is the oblique form. And वे change into the un because of this postposition, so that is the oblique form of the plural way. So now comes to the personal pronoun. So we have different types of personal pronoun and in every language. So the personal pronouns means a word that refers to a specific person or object or the entities and are used to replace noun in order to avoid unnecessary repetition. So that we have already discussed in the introduction. So we are not going to repeat the name again and again. So instead of, we are using some pronouns like wo, like hum, like tum, like आप, this kind of personal pronoun. So the function or as substitutes for non-phrase and convey the crucial grammatical information about person, gender and number. So according to the person, first person, second person, third person, we have different types of personal pronouns. And according to the number for singular plural, it has some changes. And according to the gender, it also changes. And it also changes for honorific status and social and honorific status, the personal pronoun. So the personal pronoun in the first person we have मैं and hum for first person. So first person singular is मैं and first person plural is hum. And it is actually referring to the person who is speaking. And the second person means the person refer to the person or the people being spoken to. So that is the tu, tum and आप. So tu is the singular and tum is the plural, and sometimes it also, and the up is the for honorific status, and sometimes it is also used for plural. So it is we can understand the pluralness on the or the honorific status or the honorificity in terms of context. We can understand by the context either the up or tum used for the plural things or the for the honorific status. We can understand by the context. And the third person means that it refers the person or things being spoken about. So it is like wo, ye and we. So wo is singular, ye is plural and we is plural. And in number, we have two types of number, like singular and plural. So like मैं into change into the hum, tu into change tum, and wo into change into we, and tu change into the tum and up. So these are the two plural marker for two. Sometimes we are also using this up and tum for singular, also for some honorific purpose. And we have also the third thing is the gender distinction. Like, but we are not using in Urdu the separate pronoun for gender distinction. Like for person distinction, for number distinction, we are using the separate pronoun. Like we have मैं change into hum. So this is for singular first person, this is for plural first person. But for gender distinction, there is like when you are using some for some girl, like मैं अच्छी लड़की and मैं अच्छा लड़का. And when we are saying वो अच्छा है and वो अच्छी है. So we are not using the different pronouns for gender distinction. But in some colloquial variety, there is different third person pronoun for gender distinction. like in some colloquial form of Urdu, like va, va ladki and wo ladka. So wo for the masculine and va for the plural. So that is it. But in standard Urdu, we have only va and wo for the gender distinction. There is no distinction in the form. And for honorific on the politeness level, we have different types of gender in terms of second person. So that the tu is for informal, or which is for intimate, or the friends, close friends, children, and inferior. And tum for informal but polite. But you among use the equal or peers. So we are using sometimes tum also for some politeness or honorificity. But when we are using the aap, it is more formal, and it shows the respect and politeness. So the tum is also used for some politeness in informal situation, but the aap is purely formal and with full respect and politeness. We are using for second person. So it is very common in South Asian languages, this kind of distinction where we have the different form for the politeness and honorificity or the honorific status. So according to the case and postposition, it changes, the form will change in the oblique form. So like मैं, तुम and वो, it changes for the oblique into the मुझे or मुझे, and तुझ or तुझे, उस and उसे. So like direct like from उसने किताब दी, like when we are saying वो किताब दे रहा था या तुम किताब दे रहे थे. So like वो किताब पढ़ रहा था या वो किताब दे रहा था. So when we are using the post position after वो, so it become उसने किताब दी. And मैं उसको पसंद करता हूँ. So when we are using the like मुझको, मैं को वो पसंद है, so it become the मुझे या मुझको. We are also saying the मुझको वो पसंद है और मुझे वो पसंद है. That is the oblique form for मैं. So here we have distinction. For singular we have मैं, which nominative with oblique we are using मुझे, and for singular plural we are using हम. That is this is the case in terms of first person, and for oblique we are using हमें. Like मैं स्कूल जा रहा हूँ और हम स्कूल जा रहे हैं. उन्होंने मुझे देखा, उन्होंने हमें देखा. So मुझे is for मैं को देखा, मैं को change into the मुझे, and उन्होंने हमें देखा, हमको देखा become हमें देखा. So that is the oblique form हमें. And now we have this for second person. So second person can have different types of changes according to the singular informal, singular formal, plural informal, and plural formal. Formal means there is some politeness, or we can say there is some honorific status when we are saying the formal, informal. So informal and formal. So for singular we are using tu, like tu कहाँ जा रहा है, that is the one person. And when we are using the post position, so it becomes the तुझे. Like मैंने तुझे देखा, मैंने तुझको देखा, मैंने तू को देखा become the तुझको देखा. So तुझ is the oblique form. तुझे is the oblique form for the tu. And for singular formal, so we are in formal or the in honorific form, we are not using tu. Like तू कैसे हैं या तू कैसा है, we are using आप कैसे हैं. So it is also has some agreement with कैसे and है when we are using the आप for the singular person. So that in terms of status, honorific status and informal situation. So for आप we are using the oblique like आपको, मैंने आपको देखा. And for plural informal, so that is like तुम स्कूल जा रहे हो. And for oblique, मैंने तुम्हें बुलाया. That is the oblique of तुम. And for plural nominative, we are using आप, like आप सब कैसे हैं, and for plural मैंने आपको देखा, so it become the आपको. So for oblique we are using, instead of आप we are using आपको. आपको. So that is the oblique form of plural formal. For third person we are using वो for singular, and for oblique of वो is उसे, and for plural we are using वे, and वे change into the उन्हें. So that is the for third person. Like वो घर जा रहा है become the वे घर जा रहे हैं for plural purpose. For in oblique like वो change into the उसे, मैंने उसे देखा, and it changes into the in plural oblique is changed into the उन्हें, मैंने उन्हें देखा. उन्हें is the plural and उसे is the singular in the oblique form. Oblique form is when we are using any post position. So in this case उसे does not have the visible post position, but it gives the sense of post position. Like मैंने उसको देखा become the मैंने उसे देखा, मैंने उनको देखा, मैंने उन्हें देखा. So को is not directly here, but it is understood by the change in the form.